Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to be making chili. I think this is probably one of the first things that my stepmom taught me how to make. She was a really good cook. It has evolved over the years, just my memory's not great. But the goal here is not to show you how to make my chili, so much as to show you how to make chili. And that way you can make it however you want. I have some weird tastes for my chili. I like to put corn my chili. I don't have any today, so my boyfriend will be happy because he doesn't like it, I don't think. But yeah, so what I'm going to start with, got 2 cans of this. These go on for like $2, so not bad. Some diced tomatoes, also $1 or $2. Then I've got my kidney beans, as well as a 6-bean medley. Those I think were probably on sale for about $2 each as well. That's kind of the magic number for canned goods. I've got 2 medium-sized onions. I like a lot of onion in my food, so I'm going with 2. I also have some garlic, and I've got 3 large stalks of celery. Now my boyfriend finds it weird that I put celery in chili, but that's just the way I've always done it. So it is what it is. It doesn't taste right without it for me. So one of the reasons why I'm starting with chili is because it's one of the best recipes. It's easy to make. You can make a huge amount at a time. You can freeze it really well, so you can put it aside for additional meals, like when you're sick or just not feeling like cooking. You can just pull out some chili. The other thing about it that's great is that you can stretch it so far. Like, you can really get a lot of meals out of one big pot of chili, and I'm going to show you how. So first I'm going to chop up my celery. I'm going to dice it. Just a little advice for anybody cooking. Don't chop things when you're angry. I've done this before, and it took a good slice off my finger. It grew back, so that was good, but even though it seems like the perfect time because you're angry and you want to like be productive, take it out on the celery, don't do it, okay? So I'm just gonna make this skinnier. Like, I'm gonna cut it into, well, I'll do halves. Sometimes I do thirds, sometimes I do halves. And then I'm just gonna slice off just a little bit. This is what we're going for, kind of, if that helps. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and we'll move along. Okay, so I also remembered that I have these little peppers that I wanted to use up. Honestly, whatever veg you want to put in, you can put in. There's no rules. It's just a basic formula, and then you just do what you want from there. So yeah, get these cut up. I'm putting everything in a bowl, and then we'll throw it all in a pot. So now that I've taken the little jackets off, I'm going to cut up my onions. Okay, so we've got most of our veg chopped up. The only thing left to do is the garlic. I've tried doing this various ways, and the only way that I've found that really works is using like a fine grater. I don't know, that's just my preference. I find it works really well. It breaks it down to a good size. So yeah, we'll get that sorted, and then it's time to start cooking. All right, so now I'm ready to start cooking. I went ahead and I opened all of my cans of tomato sauce, tomatoes, and beans. I rinsed my beans. I like to rinse them in the can. That's just the way I was taught to do it. So I'm going to start by putting oil in both of my pans. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in here and 2 in there, maybe 3. I don't know what you would call that. I'm just using canola oil. You can use olive oil or whatever you like. So first things first, I'm going to turn on my stovetop, medium high, for both of my burners. My stovetop has a very angry burner, this one right here, and sometimes that one. So I go medium high and then I adjust from there as things heat up. Now I picked this up at Dollar Tree yesterday and I'm interested to see how it works. Alright, and for my beef, I got this from Walmart. It was $11.94 for pretty decent size because it was on sale. I'm just gonna start breaking this up. Okay, so this actually is working out quite well so far. I'm gonna let that sit a minute. I'm gonna take my veg. I'm gonna put that in here. This is the biggest pot that I have. I highly recommend having a large pot, like this size or even larger. Like I would love, if I had the space for it, I would have one of those big stock pots. But just because this is one of those things where, so things like chili or stew, you can make like a huge amount of it and then freeze it. And I'm really bad for like, I will push the limits. I will get right to the top of the pan. Okay, so I'm stirring my veg. Celery and onions are fairly hard. Peppers too, so they do take a little while to cook. So this is one of those things they always say in the recipe is going to be like, just cook it for 5-10 minutes, and it's a lie. It's a lie. This will go on for some time. So basically we're just going to cook the ground beef through and soften the veg, maybe get a little bit of color on the veg. I like mine a little on the roasty side. So you can see the veg is starting to get like a little bit clearer, like a little bit translucent, but it still has a fair ways to go. The celery is still quite tough, but it's only been a few minutes. Now my veg is getting a little bit dry, so I'm going to add like another, I'm going to say like another tablespoon maybe of oil, just because I don't want everything burning and sticking to the bottom of the pot. So the veg is now starting to get some color. Don't panic if it starts to really brown on the bottom of your pan. It's all going to get, like, you can have a few little burnt bits. Pick out anything that is like blackened, but other than that, you're good. It'll just kind of add to the flavor. I am going to add a little bit of water now, just because I don't want to add more oil, but I do want to cook this a little longer and soften it up a little bit more. Sorry for my camera angles, I know. So I went through with the meat pulverizer thingamajig and broke everything up again, and I'm almost there. I've got a little bit more. I want to go until I'm sure there's no pink, like there's a little bit of pink in there. I'm just going to keep going until all of that is gone, and then we can start putting our chili together. Okay, so in case you're wondering, what I did is to drain my meat is I took a can of beans, emptied that into the chili pot, and then I used that in the sink to collect the grease from the pan. Now I'm going to add my meat to my chili pot. Make sure I turn off my element. This pan is so heavy, it's going to take me a minute. Give me a second. Alright, now that I've got all my meat in here, I'm going to add the rest of my beans. as well as my can of diced tomatoes. You don't have to add diced tomatoes if you're not a tomato person. I am. It also gives it a little more liquid, which it's going to need because I make such a big batch. I think this is just going to fit. Now, gotta stir it up. Gotta be careful because it's so full. This is the stage, by the way, where I would add like canned or frozen corn if I was going to. I know. Okay. So very carefully getting everything stirred in. Now we're going to start to season. All right, so I'm going to start with chili powder. I don't know why, but I really like the No Name brand. Like it's really good. So I usually just dump some in, but for your benefit, I will use a spoon. So I'm going to put in about 2 big tablespoons of chili powder. I really like my chili powder. Now, if I didn't have fresh garlic on hand, this would be when I would be putting in some garlic powder. I would do anywhere from like a couple teaspoons to a full tablespoon of that. Now, I add cumin. I'm not even, the label's worn off of it. This has a strong taste. I like what it does for my chili, but you don't want to do too much of it because it is strong. So I'm going to do just like that. So maybe like a half a teaspoon. And then just because I have it and I keep forgetting to use it, I have a chili lime seasoning that I picked up at a Marshall's, I believe it was. So I'm just going to dump, you know, a few good shakes in there. Can't hurt. Now the last thing I want to add is some salt and pepper. Just gonna go with my heart on that one. Yeah. I may or may not have pepper. Huh. Okay, well normally this is where I would add pepper, but that's not what we're doing today. So I'm just going to stir all of this in gently, carefully. And once you get that all incorporated, it's just a matter of letting it simmer for a good 15-20 minutes or even more. Just make sure if you need to add more liquid at any point, you don't want it burning on the bottom, so you can always add a little bit of liquid to it too. Just also depending on how chunky and thick you like your chili. Now you can season your chili however you want. This is just basic formula really for making chili. You know, cooked meat plus cooked veg plus canned goods chili. All right, so I'm gonna keep stirring my chili every few minutes just to make sure everything's getting cooked evenly. It's not sticking to the bottom in any way, shape, or form. And the next thing I need to do, so once this has cooked about, probably about 15 minutes, that's when I'll make the rice. And you might be like, what rice? Because that was my reaction when I learned this. The first time I made chili for my boyfriend, he was like, where's the rice? And I was like, what rice? And apparently they always had it as kids served over rice. Turns out this is actually really, really clever. It tastes great, but it also stretches the chili further. So you're using a cheap ingredient to kind of as a filler in your meal so that you're not using up as much of the chili. So this stretches so much further that way, and it's delicious. So now when I make chili, I make rice. We usually buy basmati rice, and we sort them here. We buy the big bags. It's just a lot more, it's just way cheaper to do it that way. It lasts for a long time, and we use a lot of rice, so it works for us. So for the three of us, if it's me, my boyfriend, and little Bug, I like to do 1.5 cups, and then I will add to that 3 cups of water. So my rice is pretty much done. It's just a teensy bit wet still. Now what I'll do is for both of these, I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to put the lid on the rice to kind of steam it within the pot. And yeah, we'll take them both off of the elements. And then it's ready to eat. Keep in mind, this chili is going to be like molten lava when you go to eat it. You got to breathe on it. You got to do all that stuff. Don't burn your mouth. Give it a minute. It's been boiling. So tonight I'm going to be serving my chili with sour cream, some avocado. I don't buy them anymore because I'm not willing to play their silly games, but my boyfriend got some and this one seemed almost ripe, so we'll give it a go. And then some cheddar cheese. I thought I had some shredded still in the fridge, but I did not. We did have some already sliced up from a big brick we bought, so I just cut that into smaller bits. It'll be fine. And there you have it, chili. This is just how I make it, but you can make it whatever way you want. The basic steps are just the same, and yeah, whatever ingredients float your boat. Hope this helps.